Did you know this black woman fabricated the Playboy bunny costumes for their New York club in 1962? Welcome to Black Fashion History. Zelda Wynne Valdez was a seamstress, couturier, and costumier who grew up during the height of the Jim Crow era. As a young girl, she would watch her grandmother and her grandmother's beloved seamstress work together to produce beautiful, custom gowns. While she was learning to be a classically trained pianist at the Catholic Conservatory of Music, she was also learning how to sew, making tiny doll patterns before graduating to life-size patterns made from newspaper. Zelda always had an eye for seeing a body and making the perfect clothes for it. Her grandmother, a large and stately woman, thought it impossible for a young Zelda to make a dress for her. But Zelda did anyway, and her grandmother loved that dress so much, she was buried in it. Zelda moved to White Plains after graduating from high school in 1923 to work in her uncle's tailor shop before working for a fancy clothier, even though she had no formal training. It wasn't a pleasant time for her, but she had goals of becoming a dressmaker, and she wouldn't let anyone stop her. Zelda would flourish, rising in the ranks and working with top clients before opening her own shop, Zelda Wynne, on 158th and Broadway. It was there that she would become the sartorial point person of Black society, even making the bridal party's outfits for the wedding of Nat King Cole and Mary Ellington. This would propel Zelda into the spotlight, and she would go on to work with Joyce Bryant, Diane Carroll, Eartha Kitt, Mae West, and Ella Fitzgerald, the latter, who in all her time working with Zelda was only measured once. Zelda would see pictures of Ella in the newspaper and adjust her elaborate and detailed dresses accordingly. Zelda was known for her work in emphasizing and highlighting the female frame, so she was approached by Hugh Hefner to fabricate, not design, at least 35 of the Playboy bunny outfits for the New York club. Hugh was so happy that Zelda ended up with her own fashion shows at the club titled Zelda at the Playboy. Eventually, Zelda would move her shop to 57th Street by Carnegie Hall so that she could be closer to her high-profile clients. She named her new place Chez Zelda to add flair and elevate her name. Throughout all of this, she was very active in the community, teaching sewing and design classes to Black youth. Because of this, she would be approached by Arthur Miller to design for the Dance Theater of Harlem, becoming the company's chief costume designer in 1970. She worked on many of the shows, supervising the costume department as she worked in the basement. She would have to close Chez Zelda, but her creativity would continue, as she was one of the first to dye tights that actually matched the skin tones of its dancers. In a 1994 New York Times article, Zelda said, "I have a God-given talent for making people beautiful, and for that, we are ever thankful."